see your face, I got a problem.
Who gives a shit? Nobody want to see my face, man.
They want to see that. They want to at least see some semblance of you and everything. You look like you a spy or something and everything. You sit up there.
Well, we're gonna welcome
hey,
up. We're gonna welcome
good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, folks out there in podcast land. We are finally on the air. Hurricane Michael is heading toward Mr. Harvey's house there in Tampa. It started raining outside, and he came inside because she's a blowing strong. And I'm here in Atlanta, and the skies are dark, and I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm pretty sure we're going to get some portion of it. Good afternoon, Mr. Harvey. Oh, what happened? You know, went out again. Oh, boy. Oh,
we're
man.
praying for these people.
Yeah.
You know, we're praying for people, man. But, you know, it looks like those people that's near the ocean here, it's like they're flooded out already, man, according to all the news, you know, weather news stations. You know, the stations are just, it's crazy. I mean, what is going on, man? I mean, it's like every year we got 2 or 3 devastations in this country.
Climate change, Mr. Harvey.
Oh, that's what it is.
Climate change. We got all them people out there denying climate change. And that's what's going on. It's going to get worse. It's not going to get any better.
Yeah,
So,
if they don't try to stop all this stupid stuff, you know. I mean, you heard your 45 talking about, you know, he wants everything to be released out so they can bring the per barrel from $74 down, you know, so that because he know that right now, let's see, I filled up my tank. It cost me $46 to fill up my tank today. Okay. $46.
where was it at though? Was it at a half a tank of gas or was it empty?
It was a half of a quarter of a tank. I usually let my tank go down and then fill it up.
And then fill it up.
And then fill it up. So it would have been over $50. So normally my tank will only take about $30, $35 because the gas right now is like $2.76, $2.80 a gallon.
Mm.
So it's a lot of people that's paying that extra, you know, $25 extra. So, you know.
Well, Ted, we still haven't finished getting into Hurricane Michael here and stuff. And you're telling me because you went out for about a half a minute. You went out and there wasn't nothing there. Then you came right back on. So, Michael is hitting your coastline right now, correct?
Well, not my coastline. It's hitting Gulf Coast up in the Panhandle, which is up by Tallahassee and all those areas up there, you know. And it's missing Tampa. It missed Tampa.
Oh, okay. So what I saw yesterday and stuff was that Tampa was going to get some waves and stuff. So I thought it was going to hit Tampa too, but I guess not.
No. Tampa is pretty much safe, but it's going to get some type of a lot of rain, but and some flooding. But it's not going to be as devastating as the Panhandle.
So has it hit the Panhandle now?
Well, it's supposed to be landed. The last news report I heard that it's landed already. And it's going through now, a category 3, you know. So 140, 30 miles, 100 wind velocity is like 100 and last time I heard it was 106, but it's supposed to be going up. So it's going to be a lot of buildings and flooding.
Well, once it gets off of the ocean and stuff, that's not going to get any higher because it doesn't have any moisture to build it or heat to build that the power of the wind and stuff up. So once it hits land, it starts falling off.
That's true.
Because the land is cooler than the water is. If it was still over water, yeah, it could increase in speed. But once it hits that land, it'll start dropping off. So Anyway, I was just checking on it because I know that that's some big thing and stuff for people around here, because we're not supposed to get a direct hit of that eye and everything, but it's coming so close to Atlanta that I know we're going to get a lot of rain here in just a little bit. A lot of rain, because it's fast moving. It's not one of those slow storms like we had with Florence, where it just sat there and just dropped, you know, feet of rain and stuff on Carolina. So anyway, okay, Mr. Harvey, the next thing that is on out there that we got to talk about, man, is that midterm election.
Ooh.
We have to talk about it, man. It is important that anybody who is listening to the telecast, get your friends, get your buddies, and we're getting to a point to where we might have to pull off 1960 Chicago politics.
Vote 3-4 times, huh?
Vote often. Vote and vote often. That was Daley and them, Mayor Richard J. Daley's motto: vote and vote often.
If I could holler and scream, you know, I would vote. I'm serious, man. This is serious business now, man. This is like, we on this right here. You know, a lot of people say this is the most important vote that we've ever had. This is the most important vote that we ever had.
Yeah, I'm serious. Those others were important too, but this one is really important.
This is the most important vote that we've ever had, because at least, you know, I don't classify myself as a Democrat or a Republican or all that mess. But the point is that the Democrats, man, at least they got some kind of sense. I mean, it sounds like they're a little weak and they're a little passive, but man, they got a lot of sense, you know, what things that they're saying and things that they want to do. And they do seem like they care about the people to a certain degree. But they're corporate people too. They're corporate, just like the Republicans.
Anything they do is better than what the hell we got now.
Oh, wait a minute, Ed. Yeah, but you know, the thing about it is, this is the whole thing, is that when you look at it, everything looks good on the surface. Like unemployment is down 3.7%. The stock market is at the all-time high. Manufacturing, I just read an article last week. Manufacturing has increased dramatically. Companies are coming back and opening up. All that looks good. But you know what? The people that are not working, that can't find jobs, the people that are struggling out there, that are living on minimum wage, they're barely making it. You know, we did a session on all the over 100 million people that's living below poverty or near poverty right now. But they're going over and they're spending billions and billions of dollars all over the world and not putting that money into the people. Those are taxpayer money, dollars that they're spending.
But getting back to my election thing, Ted, I'm telling everybody, get out there and vote.
You still on that? That's your
volunteer, people. We need all these candidates need volunteers. They need volunteers down there in Florida. Oh, Andrew, I don't care what they say that he's leading in the polls. Don't believe them polls. Don't believe no polls until it's over with. Then the final result,
psychology thing.
Yeah, only poll that you can go by is when the election is over with. When they call the election, that's the poll. But all these poll numbers they be citing, leave that stuff by the wayside. Don't even think about it.
Don't pay no attention.
Just get out there and work like you have never worked before. Knock on doors all the way up until the polls close. That's how hard you have to work to get your candidate to win, because you have no idea what's going on, what's getting ready to happen. So Get out there, volunteer. Start calling up people, asking to get out and vote. Call your neighbors, have a block party, do all kinds of stuff to get these people energized and out there to vote. If they ain't energized right now, I don't know, Ted, what to do about getting them energized. So get to volunteering, because I guarantee you, the Republicans are going to spend a lot of money. They got millions and millions and millions of dollars that they have in their coffers and stuff, and they're waiting to dump this money into these elections. Now, everybody, even the Democrats, think the more money you got, the better chance you're going to win. They're lying.
That's right. That's a lie.
The best thing that you're going to have is a volunteer who is out there knocking on that door. The best thing you're going to have is them folks on that phone line who are calling people up and keeping track of the people that they are calling and everything, because if you continue to call the same person up all the time, you're going to turn them off and they're not going to go out there and vote. So you got to keep track of what the heck you're doing. All those politicians out there getting people all over the country where you can call into this area right here. You have to control what's going on, because I'm telling you what, I done had 2 phone calls already. My wife done had 4 phone calls. You gotta, bitch, you gotta come out there and vote. You called me already. Quit calling me. I'm a voting. So anyway, anybody who's out there, you know, these Republicans, they got negative ass going on. Ted, they're gonna have negative ass. I mean, coming up to you are now trying to get people not to come out there and vote, or talk about what they can and can't do, what a candidate is doing. Make sure that everybody who's walking the street stay positive. You have to stay positive for your candidate and leave that negative stuff alone.
I agree.
I'm hoping, Ted, I'm pretty positive that the Democrats probably going to be able to take the House. How far they're going to take the House, I don't know. But I know the House is pretty well in their hands and stuff right now. All we got to do is get them people out there to vote. But the Senate, Lord knows, folks, we got to get them people out there and those Democratic women elected to office, because it seems like those men, they are lily-livered.
Yes.
They don't give a crap. Man,
they are old. They are old, and they are satisfied, and they just want to keep things as they are because they're making their money. They're getting privileges. I'm talking about Democrats now, because see, they ain't out there fired up. President Obama used to use this term, fired up and ready to go. These people ain't fired up and ready to go. They should be out there right now, man. I mean, I haven't seen no Democrat up there fired up and ready to go, talking about different issues. Have you heard it? I look at MSNBC. I look at CNN. I'm reading all kinds of newspapers. Where are they?
Ted, you can't go by those folks anymore.
Where are they?
You can't go by them anymore, Ted. These conservative folks, ultra conservative people, are buying up these news outlets so fast as crying shame. They're buying them up, and they are determining what you are seeing on these network television shows. And but a few people talk the truth and stuff about what's going on out there in this country. I'm looking down there at Texas. They got the old Beto O'Rourke. I guess he's running against brother Ted Cruz, one of Trump's nemesis.
Ain't no brother of mine.
Huh?
He ain't no brother of mine.
Yeah, old Ted. He's Ted Cruz. I'm talking to all my friends in Texas. Y'all get out there, get that knucklehead out of that Senate chamber.
All he cares about is himself. That's all he cares about.
That's it. He don't give a crap about the Republicans. He don't care about nothing but himself. Yo folks up there in Tennessee, get out there and vote. That Marsha Blackburn, she is horrible. She is death warmed over.
She is horrible.
She has a crack between her legs, but she ain't nothing. She's a man. She's a man.
She is like ruthless, man. I'm telling you,
man, she is horrible there. Horrible pig.
Cold-blooded.
You folks in Memphis, you folks in Nashville, and all the surrounding areas, get yourselves out there and vote.
But Ed, can you explain to me? Can you explain to me why these people vote against their own interests?
It's like it was in Pembroke Township, Ted, back when we were little bitty boys. Election day, then Republicans would go down, and every tavern out there, they send me a bill. Everybody, the wine hit, everybody was getting drunk.
Ooh, boy.
When the election was over with, you didn't see them no more. They did nothing for them Negroes. They did nothing. And that's what's going on out there now. That's why I said the Republicans got millions and millions and millions of dollars. They're going out there and they dumping that money over there and they buying these folks up and they get drunk and get them happy and put them on the truck or whatever they're going to put them on and get them out there to vote for your candidate.
Well, I heard, and I don't know if this is true or not, but they said 30% of Black people are for Trump.
No, I don't believe that. I don't believe that. That's another one of them ultra conservative poll takers. And
you say that's fake news. Fake news.
Yeah, that's fake news. That's fake news. That's fake news out there. That's those them polling numbers that somebody them paid for, and Republicans like to hear that, so they put it on. And you're gonna find a lot of that now. Politics has changed since 2000. It's changed.
They don't put facts
negative,
they put
and negative stuff and false stuff going on around. It's all around you. It's all over you. These people are trying to do everything they can to win elections. If they can put out something bad against a candidate and they know it's not true, they can do it.
Don't care.
So you gotta think for yourself.
Didn't it used to be something for yourself? Didn't it used to be sort of like against the law or against ethics to put out false advertising?
Oh no, ain't nothing. There's nothing strange in politics, brother. Nothing strange in politics. If people believe it, you believe it. Because you have one thing out there, the First Amendment, freedom to say what you want to say. Now, if you don't believe it, then that's what goes on. So sometimes some of these things and stuff, Ted, if anybody that's got any kind of sense, know that this stuff is not true. And if you think it's true, check it out. Got Google.
You know, the thing is that, I mean, I check Google all the time. However, I also check the newspapers to verify. So, you know, I might check the Washington Post, the New York Times. I might try some other newspapers, outlets, AP, whatever. And you have to check, double check, triple check to make sure what you're reading is facts. Absolutely. So that's what I'm thinking about, you know.
Absolutely.
So
absolutely. You have to do that. And then you have to have some common sense, Ted. A lot of times common sense, my grandmother said common sense gonna take you. So what they say about the smart folks, that they book smart and something ignorant. I forget what she used to say, but they book smart and they in other ways they're ignorant. In everyday life, they're ignorant.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that boy is smart as a whip, but he is totally ignorant.
That's a fact, because there's a lot of them out there as smart as a whip.
It's book smart and ignorant as hell. HELL.
And
so So anyway, Ted, we're going to have to make sure that we talk to people. And if you can, vote early if you possibly can. And the reason why we're talking about this so much is because this is important. That's why I keep on bringing it up. I know Mr. Harvey brought up about money and all this other stuff. Well, the job numbers is okay or whatever. But hey, we got what, less than 30 days left, Ted? Yep. October the 10th. November the 6th is the last day that you can get out there and vote. And that ain't too far off, my friends. We on October the 10th right now. Time is rolling by, and we got to get these folks out there because, you know, all the Republicans are still using Trump. They still think that he can energize his folks to come out there and vote. But they fail to realize that he's only talking to a small minority of people. If you ever look at the audience and stuff when he is out there doing his rallies or whatever, some of the same people are always there. They transport their people into these things and they have these big rallies and make people think, yeah, he's great.
They are coming from the different parts of the state, different parts of different states. That's all. They just follow him everywhere he goes.
They bust him in, and they want to bust him in. They bust him in, and they all sit around it because some of that stuff, Ted. And you said it. You were talking about that. So why are these people doing this? Well, they doing the same thing at these rallies. Some of these things Trump be saying, Ted. I got to look at the crowd and everything and say, what's wrong with these people? Right. They sit down there glorifying this man and he bringing some stupid stuff out there.
Real stupid stuff.
But they have them there. They have them. There's a few of them out there, but it doesn't consist of
I heard a little bit of the news last night, and they were saying that they was talking about lock up Feinstein, Senator Feinstein. Lock her up because she's supposed to have leaked Dr. Ford's information to let her
let her leak it. Let them leak it because the Republicans don't want you to know. They done held back all kind of documents on that crap. Man, it was a farce what's going on there this past month and a half with that boy. He's got his butt stamped on that Supreme Court now. They still need to go out there and lock him up. The state of Maryland ought to file charges against him.
They ain't gonna do nothing. They cowards.
Well, we don't know, Ted. We don't know. Like I said, politics is what? Politics is what?
It's local.
It's local.
But the thing is, though, man, you know, how you gonna be? You know, you gonna give a young boy, and he 3 years old, $200,000, and he don't pay no taxes on it every year.
Ted. He got away with it. His daddy got away with it.
How is that a limit? What they call it? It's like it's expired. You know, you can't go back that far.
You can't go back. It's over with. They can only go back 3 years, man. Within the 3 years, they got a 3-year time period. The IRS says 3 years to catch you. If they don't catch you in that 3-year span, then it moves on down the line. So anything you done after and 5 years and gone by, you safe.
So in other words, what he did in whatever year when he
he's
put
safe.
That bogus $1 billion write-off.
He's safe.
So he ain't up for the card artist, man. He
got it. He got away with it. He's safe.
Wow. So that's like a Bernie Madoff situation.
Yep. The only people who might be able to get him now is some of these states and stuff because the state law sometimes doesn't go parallel with the federal law.
Well, New York, they claim they go file.
Absolutely. New York has the power to do it, but you got to stay on top of it. And you can't take the stuff to the Supreme Court because it belongs to the state. So him putting that boy up there on that Supreme Court and everything ain't going to save his butt with that.
Yeah, just like Madoff.
Yes. They ain't gonna save him. It ain't gonna. He can't pardon nobody, and the Supreme Court can't save him.
Yeah. And did you hear about Gates, his running buddy, Madoff's running buddy?
Who?
Gates. I can't think his first name, but Gates is the person that Madoff, they were like partners together.
You talking about Manafort, not Madoff. You talking about Manafort.
No, I said Manafort.
No, you didn't. You didn't say Manafort.
No, I was talking about Manafort for about 2 minutes ago. But I'm talking about
I didn't hear you say that.
Manafort and Gates are partners. And
no, they weren't. Manafort was the chairman for the Trump campaign, and Gates was his associate, his assistant.
Well, you can call it assistant, associate, but they were partners. And here's the deal. Gates came up with some idea that he can go into the different social medias and do this and do that, and then they poo-pooed it. But the point is that right there is collusion, because he had brought that up. And then they probably said, no, we got something better than that. We got the Russians.
Well, until the elections are over, Ted, I wouldn't worry about none of that stuff they're talking about.
Oh, there you go. You focusing back on the voting. Get out and vote.
Until the elections are over, I wouldn't even be worried about that, because it doesn't mean a hill of beans, because them Republicans are covering up. They taking care of their people. They don't care what anybody have done. They don't care. And like I said, until the elections are over, we can't worry about none of that crap.
Well, I'm gonna say this:
the people who are talking this stuff don't have no power in which to do anything at all. And until the Congress starts acting, they get away with anything they want to get away with. And it's sickening to see it. It is sickening to see it. But we chose this path. This was our fault. Now we got to get out there and correct it. And Ted, what happened to our UN ambassador, my friend?
She's a different bird.
Yeah.
In my opinion, I don't know if she has political ambition, but there's no way in hell is anybody going to vote for her for president.
Well, she said she's not running into 2020 against Trump. She's already said that. I'm not running.
I don't care if it's 2024 or 2028. Ain't nobody voting for this woman.
Well, by the time 2024 gets here, Ted, we don't know. That's a lifetime away. She might be dead. Anything might happen to that old girl. She might get sick and have cancer or something. Anything. 2024, boy, too far away. 6 years. Oh man, that's a lifetime in politics.
Yeah,
lifetime. Plus, supposedly she had some bad stuff going on and stuff with her that she had to get away from. And some people, they were going to bring that stuff up. If she started running, they're going to bring that up. So she left for a reason.
But the reason why she left is because she's like, they did a whole financial thing on her that she's like 40, 50,000, maybe more than that in credit card debt. She owes $1 million on her house, and her, she's in total debt, man. So she's out there. She's resigning because she needs more money, and she needs to work for a corporation. Now, this woman is very smart. Now, I'm not gonna, because she graduated and she was an accountant. So this woman is very smart. She knows the numbers. She knows how to speak. She knows how to negotiate. So she's going to be getting a good job as some type of position in the corporation or one of these hedge funds or whatever, and make herself $5, $15, $20 million quick.
That's possible that she could do that, but I think
write a book.
I think the main part about what's going on is that they caught her taking private airline stuff. The same thing that they
she broke, man. She broke.
Yeah. Same thing. They got a couple of other boys and stuff up and everything. And because she's a woman, they really gonna dog her out. I don't care whether she's Republican or not. She's a woman, and they're gonna dog her out. Okay, Mr. Harvey, anything else that you got to say? I done said everything. I done looked at my little notes down here. My notes, over a third of my page was for midterm elections. Get out and vote. GOTV.
Just get out to vote. Well,
yeah, get out to vote.
Well, the thing that I really wanted to talk about is something that really is dear to my heart, and this is totally switching gears. And I just want to talk to the young people. It is so important, and I'm talking about 20-year-olds, 18-year-olds to 29-year-olds. It is so important that these young people get involved because this is your future. You know, this is something, down the road, if you're married or not married, it is so important that you get involved in politics, get involved in business, find out what's going on, read. I mean, even if you don't understand it, just read it, and reread it, and just keep on get yourself engaged and informed because in this country, everything is dependent on money. And if you don't go out and figure out what is going on, where the new trends are, what's happening into this country, you're going to be bypassed and you're going to be standing out there on the corner wondering what happened. Because we already see the trend now. If you look at all the legalization of drugs, opium, and all of these different types of things that's out there, marijuana, people are making millions and millions of dollars right now where a person used to walk down the street with a dime bag or a nickel bag in their pocket and go to jail for 5 years. So this is a game, and this is what you have to realize. And it's a serious game. And you have to realize that all of these things are for people that want to make money. It's just like the oil game. People out there, when they were saying it's oil out there or it's gold out there in them there hills, and people was trying to make their millions, and only a few made it. You got to find where is your niche. What is your niche? Where are you going to make a living? How are you going to survive and really make a living? Because right now, they talking about raising the minimum wage for $15 an hour. Forget about it. That ain't no money. You should be thinking 30, 35, 40, $50 an hour now. That's where we are right now. So how are you going to make that kind of money? That means you got to open up your own businesses. You got to figure out some kind of way to get out there and make a lot of money because when we were coming up as young kids and everything, you can buy a house for $5,000, $10,000, a decent house, a good house. Nowadays, you'd be lucky if you get a decent house for $200,000, $250,000, and that right there is the minimum in a decent neighborhood. So you got to, because number one, you got to have good housing, you got to have a good job or career or be an entrepreneur. You got to be informed. All of these things. There's nothing wrong with having fun, but you really have to get out there and you got to be informed and keep up. Forget about all these Kardashians and sports. All that you can watch all of that. That's true. But the bottom line is you have to stay on top of this stuff. That's what's on my heart right now. And I'm seeing young people right now. They're more important than what's going on in the BET awards and all of these different kinds of awards and who's talking about who. That's what I'm thinking. So because it's just gonna pass you back. Because those people, those rap people and all that, they're gonna make their money. But how are you gonna make your money? How are you gonna? I'm talking about legally. How are you going to make your money? That's what I want to know. How are you going to make your money? You can get you a good career, get you a college education, get you a trade. You can do all those things so that you can survive. But then you got to start doing things where you're going to be making more than sufficient enough money. It's okay to just survive, but you're going to live like that for a certain period of time. Once when you're in your 30s and your 40s, you want to be making money. That's what I'm talking about.
Okay, Mr. Harvey.
That's Omar. Really? I mean, you only got so many working years. You figure, by the time you're 30, you only got about 15, 20 years more to work, and you're done. Because after that, you're going to be declining. Very few people working at over 60, 65 years old making big money. Because that's the system that they've made. You see these people in their 60s, 65, 70 years old, and these are all white old men. They ain't that smart. I'm telling you right now, because I talked to them. I've talked to them. They are not that damn smart. They got other people around them that's smart. It tells them whatever. That's what I'm talking about. They ain't that smart. I'm sorry.
Well, Mr. Harvey, like my mother used to tell me, and my dad used to tell me, she said, Edward, you got to be 2 times, sometimes 3 times smarter than most of those people out there in this country. And that's the way it is, and that's what you're going to have to do. And I listened to my mother, and I understood totally, and she was right. I watched the actors and stuff out there, these black actors, man, most of them, they can sing, they can dance, they can act, and they have all kinds of other talents and stuff that they have. And they have to have that if they want to stay in that business out there. They have to be able to sing, they have to be able to act, and they have to be excellent at it. They have to be overly good at it, because that's the way the world and stuff is. You got to be able to play the piano, or you got to be able to sing. You got to be able to play another musical instrument. Some of the ladies out there, they play, they go do plays and stuff and everything. They're very good and stuff, and being on stage and also on the movie theater and everything, and portraying themselves out there. And they have to be that. They have to be good. If you're not good, you're not going to make it. So that goes on in all industries and stuff. You have to be extra good and stuff at it. I had a young man that I got on Monday and stuff. He helped me. I got him. He was my new tenant's son, and he helped me to load my truck up and get my rest of my stuff out of my place, and then take it up to my storage place where I got to put my stuff stored at. And I was talking to that young man. I said, "Man, I said, what are you doing? What kind of aspirations do you have?" And Ted, this kid is 19 years old, and he is without a clue, man. I don't understand what's going on in these kids' minds and stuff nowadays, or what the parents and stuff have put into their head. He is without a clue. I don't understand. I really don't. And he is the norm. They run around here. He done had 3 or 4 jobs already. And well, I worked at McDonald's, and I didn't like how they told me what to do, so I finally had to quit. He had another job. He said, well, this old head came over there and did something to me and everything. And I looked at him, old head. And they told me I could go on a break. I was just on a break and everything. And when I come back, the man said, you don't have to come back no more because you weren't supposed to ever went on break and all this. And you say, I lost that job. But he's asking me you know where I can find a job at? And so after he done told me all this, I stopped.
Well, I don't know where to get you a job. But number one, you know, Ed, look at this. I'm seriously, man. There are certain fields that you have to be qualified for to even get the interview. If you're not qualified for it, you're not going to even get an interview to make 35, 40, 45, 50, $60,000. You know, certain things you have to have. Like if you're going to be an accountant, you have to take accounting courses. If you're going to be an engineer, you got to take engineering courses. If you're going to be a plumber, if you're going to be a plumber, you got to go ahead on and get that trade done. So you know, if you're going to be a customer service person, you're going to be making minimum wage. If you're going to work at McDonald's, you're going to be making minimum wage because almost anybody can do those jobs. You have to bring value to your career.
He couldn't. He said he worked at McDonald's and they got rid of him. He couldn't stay there. He worked at a factory somewhere, and his old head told him something. He didn't like what the old head said, so they fired him. I can't believe this, man. This is too much. I said, you got to be kidding me, my friend. So my point to him, what I was trying to make is that when you go somewhere and you try to become employed, the first thing I'm gonna ask him, I'm looking at him. I said, "Man, where your resume at?" What? Looking at what resume?
see, that's the thing they don't teach in school. Did he graduate from high school?
Yeah, he's supposed to have. I don't know what school he graduated from, but he's supposed to have graduated. And he couldn't. When I said, "Where your resume at?" He said, "What's that?" We in trouble, man. Our young brothers is in trouble. We got work to do. These school systems, man, have destroyed these young kids, man, coming out of school, especially the boys.
I agree because
I don't know what to do, man. I don't know what to do, Ted. I really don't. I have no idea what to do. None whatsoever.
Well, I don't know neither. But I mean, because there's so many different, I guess, sections of Black males that's out there. You got your athletes, you got your academics, you got your trade people. And then you got your people that just want to be out there and just have fun and they're not thinking, So you got all of these people, and then you might even have a little religious Black groups or something, whatever, and they're very educated and learning. But the point is that there are a lot of Black males that are very astute, very educated, and very informed. But there are also a lot that are not.
There's a whole lot that's not there, and the ones who are not, they have their population. Their population has expanded. I look at I have a grandson. He's in his last year of college and everything right now. When he started out as a freshman and stuff and everything, there were a lot of young boys there with him. But as the years went by, their population fell off. When he went to the place, the women outnumbered the men 10-1. And now that he is just about getting close to graduating, the women is outnumbering them 20-1.
Wow. Because a lot of them just left school.
They just left. They didn't want to do the work. They didn't want to sit down there and study and do the work. They wanted to come there, play, do whatever they wanted to do, boop, wear them clothes and hoo, ha, 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 and boop, boop, or whatever they wanted to do, but they didn't want to knuckle down and study with them books. He knuckled down, studied them books, And now he's about ready to get out of here. Now the rest of them probably gonna be looking at him and saying, "Man, if I had did this, you had your chance, my brother. Why didn't you? It's hard. Things don't come easy. You don't get them easy." So it's just, man, Ted, I'm just, I don't know, I'm aspirated. Well, I'm just sitting here, man, just wondering and stuff, what is going to happen to our population and stuff. I had a guy come out, and I had a roof put on my other house that I had down there. And I came down there last Thursday to check on them to make sure they were doing the job right. I looked out there at all them guys, Ted. There wasn't a young black man out there at all. It was full of Mexicans. They were all over the place. They were all over the place, man. They went, and by 10 o'clock that morning, they had stripped that old roof off and started putting the stuff back on top of the plywood and everything. Was almost done with all the shingles by 10 o'clock in the morning. They started at 7. Them boys were on it.
You know, I've heard that story several times.
And then I come back, and the gentleman and stuff, he's a black guy now. He's black. I talked to him. He said, "Mr. Bishop, you satisfied with the job that we've done?" I said, "Yeah, man, the roof looks really nice, man. Everything looks good." And I looked at him. I said, "Man," I said, "where you find all them Mexicans at?" There had to be 20 of them out there. He said, we can't find any of our folks, Mr. Bishop. We get maybe 1 or 2 and they quit. Oh, that worked too hard for me. I can't do that. Oh man, this is too much.
Well,
it is too much.
I mean, it's I don't know what to say about that, because I can only recall myself as a young teenager growing up. I would do anything, man, to make some bucks. I get out there and I'll pick tomatoes. I'll throw potatoes. I work in the factory.
In the hay fields. You work out in the hay field, throwing hay. That baler come out, throwing hay.
Yeah. I would do anything at that time, you know, to make some money so I can get me a car and make some money, buy some clothes so I can go out, take my little girlfriends out or whatever. But the point is that you can't sit up here and say that the work is too hard, because you have to start somewhere. I don't care what it is. Just do it.
You got to start at the bottom. And then if you start at the bottom, everybody starts at the bottom. You're gonna start at the bottom and stuff. And I try to tell this young man, I said, when you go to these places where you work at and everything, I said, if you aren't an asset to these people, why would they want to hire you?
Yeah.
You have to be an asset. You have to give this employer, whomever they may be, the will to say, I'm going to keep him.
That's right.
He's good.
Because number one, you got to give, always believe them, give them more than what they expect.
Absolutely. And you're going to move up when you do that.
Yeah.
And you're going to feel better about, Ted, you know, they're going, well, when you worked out there in them hay fields and them bean fields, whatever, when Friday came, man, you were so happy because they gave you that money and you had that cash in your pocket, and it was well worth it. Man, I worked hard and stuff. I sweated my tail off, but I know come Friday, they're going to pay me. I'm going to give me some money and I'm going to be able to do what I want to do. Man, these young brothers don't think about that. There's no value inside of them as to doing good.
Well, the thing is,
putting something out there that's worth something.
Well, here's the thing, though. When you think about it, and we had that opportunity too, because we saw it, but not as much as they see it today. When you see rappers talking about making all this money by just rapping or entertainers, because when we come up, we had a lot of groups and individual singers, and they made money, but it wasn't as much money as they're making now because the venues now are open. Back then, they had the chitlin circuit, bro.
It's limited. Limited. Chicken circuit, you don't make as much money chicken circuit as you do on the big stage. But it's limited. You're only going to have so many people out there on the chicken circuit. You're only going to have you're only going to have so many rappers.
So
you got 10 million black folks and 200 rappers.
But the thing is that when you have rappers going all over right now, a lot of these people, I mean, if you look at your top 50, 100 rappers, they're making millions of dollars.
Yep.
So this is what they're seeing on TV. So what they're saying is that they're saying the little money that they're making, they're comparing themselves to them.
It's only a couple of hundred of them, Ted, who are making that kind of money.
Yeah, just like the
rest of them aren't making that money. You got a whole lot of them who's sitting behind them. They trying to make that money, but they out there scuffling trying to make that money.
Yeah.
It's a business that is limited. You have to be absolutely lucky, almost like playing sports, football, basketball, baseball, whatever. There's only a few of them going to be out there playing, and only a few of them going to be making that kind of money. Don't be looking at me. I'm making $20 million, ain't but one LeBron James. That's it. That's it. You ain't LeBron James. You got to get out there and work. Eventually, you got to realize that this ain't where you're going to make your money at. And we have to get that feeling of glory and stuff out of them, Ted, that those guys out there who are making all their money and stuff, they are special. Let them make their money. But I'm going to make mine somewhere else. Figure out where that's at.
That's right. I agree to that because
figure out where it's at. You didn't know that when you went to college and stuff that you're going to be working over there at the Los Angeles Times.
Sure did. No.
Or you will have another, once you left them, you'd be working at Bank of America, because back then, when you were getting out, it didn't even exist.
No, it didn't. I mean, it existed, but it wasn't all over national.
It wasn't national.
They weren't hiring a whole lot of blacks then.
But you had no idea. Now, when you went to school to do accounting or whatever, so you went off over there into Los Angeles Times and what? Sold ads.
yeah, I sold advertising.
That ain't a whole lot of accounting into that. It's more like marketing.
That's it. That's all it was, selling. And the thing about it, like back then in the late 70s, accounting was a shit job. Excuse my French, everybody. It was a shit job because the bottom line is that the controller always ran the show, and whatever the controller said, and he's the one that did, all you did was do the numbers and do the reports. So you weren't making a whole lot of money. But in sales back in the 80s, when you're selling advertising, if you're selling mortgages, if you're selling real estate, if you're selling all of those, manufacturing products, that's where the money was. And that's how I figured out. I said, hey, I got to get me a sales job. So I studied sales. And so I went around and you just have to have and sales is one of the best things that you can do to make a living. If you don't want to work, a labor job, teach yourself how to sell something. That's what you do, because the salesman right now is the number one person.
Ted, Ted, most of these young brothers out there have no idea how to sell stuff.
Well, you have to teach yourself.
Most of them can't, Ted, because they wasn't taught the basics and stuff in high school. They weren't taught anything at all. That young man I had with me, Ted, helped me unload that truck. I wouldn't give him a job in a chicken factory, being a chicken plucker. Because he couldn't convince me that he wanted to work. And you know they got chicken pluckers down here in the chicken houses down here.
But seriously, I'm serious about that though. I mean, the number one person that is making most of the money nowadays are salespeople, and sales is not easy because you're going to get all kind of rejections. It's just like an act. You know, you go into an audition. After audition, you're gonna get no, and finally you're gonna get a 1. You're gonna get a yes.
But most of them, Ted, aren't gonna go that far. I'm telling you, we ain't speaking to the choir. You speaking out there in a megaphone, and nobody's listening because they can't hear you. And you're right. There's a lot of money to be made there, but you have to be committed to going out there and doing it, to be able to accept 10 no's to get 1 yes. You were able to accept that. Oh, well, somebody said no. Most of them going to give up after about 3 or 4 times. No. Get this. I'm not going out there and doing that, man. Ain't no money in that. Hey, but that's the way it is. That's the world. You have to be able to do it. And most of our young men, Ted, they're not fit for doing that. They can't do it. It's not. They don't have no staying power. They don't want to stay out there, and if they get fall down once or twice and stuff, and oh man, I'm gonna go sell some dope. Yeah, I can sell dope. People are gonna buy my dope. But you know, that's the life of a person and stuff and everything who is going to always be a dope dealer. So what are you gonna do? I don't know. I have no idea. But anyway, Mr. Harvey, we are getting close to the end of our telecast here, and I see it is way past our time. So we want to say goodbye to our audience, and we will see them on Saturday. So bye.